Okay, this is the Memorial Day update for Jimmy. Maybe some of my other family might care. Carter is making the rounds. He's inspecting everything. We have our different types of tomatoes over here. And those Japanese ones that I cannot pronounce the name of correctly. Let me go over there to those. Niagas. They're doing pretty well. But the ones along the fence, they seem to have some spiders, which is weird because it's the first time I ever used insecticide right before planting. So I might have to spray with this one spray that we used when I was in property management. It's fairly safe. Anyways, let me show you. So it has really distinctive leaves. So remember how we had those windstorms and I said, well, it's either those Japanese ones or the Brandywines because they're right together. So yeah, I mean, it's really easy to tell which one is which. This is clearly not Brandywine, but they all seem to be doing pretty good. This one is for my mom. It's the Sun Gold 100. It's a cherry. It's a yellow cherry. This is that slicer I was telling you about. It's a big beef, so we have those going already. There's a Jimmy tomato in its infancy. This is another wild card tomato, but I think it might be one of the heirlooms, so we'll see. I'm really excited to see what this is, but here's what I was talking about. This is from spiders. So far, it does not really seem to be affecting the plant right now, but I need to probably just spray, not the actual plant, but like I'll spray around the container. I'll spray around the top of the container. I might even put some like on a cotton swab, like spray a cotton swab and then rub the cotton swab on the cage. We'll see. And then also I told you I was going to do basil, so I have basil growing with every single plant. Here's another one that has, the spiders seem to really be liking it. And I also think it might be a slicer because of how the blossoms are spaced. I could be wrong on that, but it's just my guess right now. And then in this old broken down aloe pile, I had all those squash that were just like would not stop growing everywhere. And I just stuck one down in over there and I was like, oh, I'll get back to you later. Well, it seems to really like that spot, so I'm just leaving it. We'll see. My hibiscus from Candy, funnily enough, I just was like sticking basil everywhere. Oh, look, that's gonna be so beautiful. So there's basil growing down here too. Seems pretty happy. For now, I don't know long term if it'll thrive or not. Hey Carter. So this stuff here because we make our own soil. So this is a volunteer strawberry in here, which I will replant. There are some little beets, and then over here it's just those squash seedlings that would not stop. They just are going to grow and grow and grow. Stuff like this is what I'm using to make soil. So I layer the bucket with, like, here's Uncle Calvin's watermelon. So, like, I put a layer of sticks down in the bottom, then some, like, actual dirt from the pile from when I poured cement and I had to put that dirt somewhere. I'll put a little bit of that down there. It's somewhat hydrophobic, so I'll put some coconut coir with it. I'll then throw in, like, some leaves. And then I start to put food scraps and other green things like that before I put in the other soils, like the actual nutrient-rich soil. So the things that I'm growing over here, like the beets, just these bits of greenery, I'll pick some of those and I'll throw those in, because then that's the plant food. That's what the plants that we're growing will feed off of. And my mom's friend Robbie from Southern California is the one that really got us started on container gardening and doing it in this method where you're just sort of putting your compost scraps, putting whatever you're eating. We don't do meat, but back into your buckets to feed the new growth is working so well. I thought, like, oh, you have to do like the traditional compost. Nope, it's not necessary. Then over here we have some of those, like this one right there. That's really just plant food. Down there though, those are some of the squash that are growing. And I don't know how they're going to do, because I feel like they needed a bigger bucket, but I just had to stick them somewhere. So that's where they got stuck. Let me take you to another section. Before I do that, before we move on, these are a variety of different kinds of melons that are going to be coming up. I'll show you those seed packets later, because now I have to remember where I put the seed packets. Here's my seedling table and root starting over here, and everything's just kind of jumbled together. But a lot of these are going to get planted probably before I finish this video. I plan on planting like 5 of these in the next 2 hours. And this is that herb garden I made the other day that has the lemon thyme, the lemon balm, mint, lavender, basil, and also has some chamomile that will be popping up soon. And every time I water this, it smells so good. I'm glad it has handles on the side, because I'll just drag it back and forth all day. And then over here, still don't have my mom's towers set up yet. They're just still stacked around. But you can see the strawberries are doing well. They kind of like the spot because it's part sunny and then part shade. Here's some cherry trees that we just haven't planted. Some artichoke scraps that either an animal knocked over or the wind blew. Here's some food scraps that I will be adding to the buckets, the containers that I said I was going to plant like 5 things. Some of that will probably go into there. Carter doing what Carter does. Carter, I don't really want you to eat that part. Go eat grass somewhere else. Okay, you're doing so good. But here are some more of our tomatoes. Uncle Calvin pointed out to make sure that I know those are weeds. Yeah, I do. My mom is very, I don't know what the word would be. She loves her dandelion greens. These ones are way too far gone, but like as far as I ate some the other day and it cut my tongue. But it's her thing, so I'm just gonna let it be. But remember I told you those other, those huskies were like putting on a lot and in clusters. Every bush like that, I think we have 5 of them. They're just really loading on right now. Let's see. There's your tangerine tree that you love. And let's see. There is a Spanish sage over there. Your not German strawberry tomato. This is the one where I was like, I thought it was the German strawberry. It wasn't, it was a weed. So I put a different tomato plant there. This one also has mint growing in there. And now that looks like a volunteer, probably cucumber. And look at how well that mint is doing. And no matter what, you have green onions that will just pop up everywhere. And I just sort of pick them and put them back in for on top for plant food. Because we have other ones that we eat off of, if that makes sense. Because I had put, before I put the tomato plants in there, I had put a little bit of insecticide. So I don't know how I feel about eating the green onions that come up from the soil. At this point, it's been like, what? It's been so long now, it's probably just watered straight through, but when you have so many other ones that you could eat, like, why eat those? Okay. Hopefully I'm not making you sick with the movements of all this. This lovely bathtub over here. These are squash plants that are doing pretty well. We have the daddy plant, the mommy plant, and the baby plant. This is the, what does the tag say? Pink, get off of me, there's a bug. The pink Brandywine. So those are going to be really nice. I think a lot of these other ones, like I said, from that windstorm, I think they're Brandywines too, because I had done a lot of those seeds, and then a lot are just wild card from tomatoes that I took the seeds from myself because they were so good. So here's that another one of the what did I say? Yeah, I can't think of it right now, and I said it just a minute ago. I also am not weeding as well as I was before, because I was wondering how come all the flowers that I had planted were not coming up. And it's because I thought they were weeds and I keep pulling them out. So I kind of just have to sort of let things go. Like in there though, in that container, I did see a lot of purslane. Obviously those round, here's some more purslane. I think I'm a purslane farmer You can actually eat these. They're pretty nutritious and they're tasty. You could put them in a salad. Pretty good. Let me see. This is another wild card tomato. Ooh. Can I get this guy back over in here? I don't want to break it. I'm going to turn this off real fast. I forgot where I left off because I had to tend to that tomato plant to make sure everything was going up in the structure in the cage versus not. There's another one of those Japanese ones. This, Jimmy, this is your German strawberry tomato for sure. And then I have another German strawberry for sure that I could plant. But I haven't yet. It's in the baby stages, so, but it's ready to go. So I don't know. We'll see. So what I've been doing is I've been dumping out the old containers over here. Oh, there's Carter keeping guard. Then I break these up, break up any old root balls. I take the soil out because this is good soil. A lot of it is nutrient rich that we made the soil ourselves, especially right here. I took some out the other day. That actually never had anything grown in it. That is, obviously that's not true because look, there's roots on the bottom. But I don't remember planting anything in there. Anyways, that's straight up like compost gold right there. But I use this to fill up these the bins. I use them to fill up the bins. Then these right here are probably going to be for melons. My buddy over there has been catching about 1 gopher a week. So I appreciate that, but it's just not enough. They've like destroyed everything. Over here we have the Uncle Otto chairs that I still use. I will always, a lot of times we just use them for like planter stands, so it's kind of raised up, but I have such an affection for these chairs forever. And then over here is some more tomatoes. Right now I'm going to be planting in this section right here. This little patch of dirt right here is where I had kind of put the pile of dirt that I needed to put somewhere when I poured the cement. So I've just been slowly putting that into a little bit of the buckets to disperse it about. This is watermelons over here. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, I probably would have already weeded out the purslane and whatnot. But I have flowers in here and I would really like to see them come up. Over here, actually, this is compost trying to grow. So that I will have to I don't want to pull up because I don't want to disturb the root system below. But I'll just cut that part off at the top. Like, for sure, that's not a flower or anything like that. This is another one of those buckets I had dumped out and I've just been using it bit by bit. I do need to take the weeds off the top. And then over here we have some more watermelon, tomato, more watermelon, tomato because this part of the yard, especially as time progresses, it's in like sun for 12 plus hours a day. So then way back here, I'm going to do, let me get back there. Also, Uncle Jeff's apricots are going to be ready probably 2 to 3 weeks. It depends on the weather. Usually like the first few triple digit days, they really start to turn color, and then if you don't pick them, they just start dropping so fast. But anyways, they'll be ready soon. Not a super huge crop this year because I had to cut the tree way back because it's so close to the house. But anyways, they're looking good right now. Okay, so back here is that super neglected citrus tree, but hey, it is hanging on. And then not my favorite neighbors and their trees. We've come a long way. I mean, we're down to 2. What Einstein plants redwood trees literally underneath the power lines? Whatever. I will trim those back to the legal limit that I'm allowed to now that I have multiple types of pole saws. So I did get the pole chainsaw and just like the not motorized pole saw. And then down there by the fence, that is some type of a weed, but I also, like I said, sometimes I need greenery to add to the containers that I'm filling. So I will just like chop and drop those into the container, and then that becomes the plant food for whatever I'm growing. I try and put bananas in with everything because they offer a lot of good nutrients for the food that we need. But anyways, back here, obviously those kid pools are gonna go. I think my mom wanted to use them for planters. She did some, but those ones no. You can see that was a pomegranate tree that the gophers just demolished. Still fighting the morning glories. That I love my neighbors so much, but man, they have destroyed the property. It's even in the walls of the garage, from the time that we were at the hospital, and just is what it is. You know, they grow underground. You just can't kill them. But anyways, back here, I'm going to use some of this pile. You can't tell, but there are wood branches that I had cut off the redwoods. I will put those into the bottoms of some of my planting containers for the melons. That will help bulk it up a little bit, but still give them root space to grow. And back here, even though there are big trees back here, it still gets 8 to 12 hours of sun throughout the summertime. So I talked to my friend Lisa the other day. She might be able to come over and help me a bit with this, but we're going to put some cardboard down and the containers on top of it, and then the melons can grow. They can just grow in their containers, and then they also can just grow and sprawl out on top of the cardboard, so I don't have to worry as much about the gophers coming up and getting them, or them rotting because they're on top of the soil. So that is the goal. But I mean, you can see I have to, it's a constant battle with the morning glories.